Today, I will be reading the first few chapters of hit book Super Mega Saves the Troops by Ryan McGee and Matthew Watson. Our book starts with a quote. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joseph Robinette Biden, 1942 to 2022. Rest in peace. Act 1. Dawn of Destiny. Chapter 1. Sunshine, Sports, and Showers. Our story starts on a day like any other. The sun was shining through the Los Angeles smog. The pool boy was plucking crumpled leaves from the surface of the water by hand, and two matching 2013 Lamborghini Egoistas were parked in the driveway of the Super Megaplex. The owners of these pristine automobiles were in the front yard, playing a game of good old-fashioned one-on-one American baseball. A gentle breeze was blowing through the Beverly Hills, and Ryan McGee had just scored his first touchdown of the day against his best friend and non-romantic life partner, Matthew Watson. "Gotcha!" Ryan exclaimed, a hint of cockiness to his voice. "Now, don't think you've won just yet," Matt replied. "I've still got a few tricks up my sleeves." "We'll see about that." The sun was high, and the game had only just begun. Matt grasped the Babe Ruth autographed baseball between his fingers, carefully avoiding contact with the 3 Super Bowl rings he had won in a match of billiards. "Here comes the rock!" Matt yelled with a swift stroke of his arm. The ball soared across the pitcher's mound and past Ryan's ear. "Score!" "I told you I still had some tricks up my sleeve," Matt playfully teased. "Shove it up your butt and die," said Ryan. After an hour of rigorous play and a few glasses of Long Island iced tea, the game had drawn to a tie, and the boys decided it was time to head inside and hit the showers. Now, as you may know, one-on-one American baseball can surely work up a sweat. This is especially true for 2 red-blooded American male YouTubers who, in their 20s, are at their self-described peak shape, in the pinnacle of their form. "Let's get inside and hit the showers, bud," Matt said eagerly. "Last one in's a rotten egg." Ryan gleefully raced to the front door and ran up the spiral staircase leading to the Tower of Showers. With some help from Andre, the Filipino pool boy, the men shed their stinky, sweat-soaked apparel and got their clean on. Hot water sprayed across Ryan's chest as the droplets traversed the rolls of his back. Matt slid a bar of Irish Spring soap across his washboard 8-pack and lathered his in the suds. He squirted a dollop of Axe 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, and body wash into the palms of his hands and rubbed them together, whipping up a thick, scented foam. Matt ran his fingers through his pal's wet locks, taking his time to massage deep. Once the filth was rinsed from his hair, Ryan turned and squirted some hot eucalyptus oil across Matt's shoulders. Working his way down, Ryan massaged the hot mess into every muscle and joint of his friend's tender body, careful not to miss a spot. "Man, getting clean sure does work it up an appetite," Ryan said. "You could say that again, old chum. What do you say we go to Mussolini's and get a couple pies and martinis? You fly with that, homie?" "Yeah, a cheese and bread sandwich with a triple vodka martini would sure hit the spot right about now." Ryan slapped his rotund belly, letting out a hearty guffaw, hot water drops reverberating onto his pal's face. "All right, you goober. Let's finish this shower and get going." Matt ran a soapy washcloth from Ryan's neck to his cleaning his best friend's olive skin. Ryan poked and slid his slippery fingers between each of Matt's toes, provoking a giggle, and a few chuckles, too. "Is it hot in here, or is it just me?" Ryan laughed, turning the water temperature to a balmy 210 degrees. "This hot water sure feels nice," Matt said, with a few more bubbles, some suds, and a handful of giggles and squeaks. The boys climbed out of the shower and grabbed their embroidered cashmere Gucci towels. Drying off and playfully spanking one another, not gay, the guys toweled themselves to completion and suited up in their Super Mega t-shirts that they bought for a really nice price at https://www.supermegamart.net/shop. And they said they fit really good and are comfortable too. "Ready to go?" Matt asked his pal. "1 second, bud. Let me finish up this last coat of nail polish." "That color is absolutely fabulous. Is that sweather weather?" With a slick grin, Ryan retorted, "Mojito madness, actually. My favorite shade." He puffed a few delicate breaths onto his drying toes, the polish hiding any last hint of the true yellow color of his nails. Of course! I should have known, Matt laughed. The boys laced up their Air Force Ones and climbed into one of Ryan's purple Lamborghinis. As they peeled out of the driveway of the super megaplex, Skrillex blaring from the speakers, Ryan and Matt knew life was good. They were the two most successful YouTube stars in the world, living the dream. But what these boys didn't know is that their dream would soon become a nightmare. Chapter 2. Whining and Dining. After the butterfly doors lowered to a close, Ryan tossed his keys to the fresh-faced valet boy. Gracias, Matt said, throwing him a handful of loose change. If you're good, I might even tip a whole $1 on the way out. Looks like those shoes are in need of a good shine, Ryan said to the valet boy, hawking a loogie onto the poor lad's shoes. Prank! With a laugh, a wink, and a smile, the duo entered the establishment, ready to gorge on some grub. Ryan McGee and Matthew Watson, my two favorite customers, exclaimed a large Italian man with a big mustache and a button nose. The Italians aren't good for much, but they sure do know how to cook. Sometimes. Your table and cocktails are ready over here. He led the boys to the VIY section. Very important YouTubers. Please, have a seat. Your food's almost ready. The usual? Ryan asked. Indeed, meat sauce and a plate of chocolate ice cream, the Italian man chuckled. Adjusting his bib, Ryan took a swig of his martini. He howled with delight, eyes watering. Now that's a good martini! Matt took a hefty sip. Oh my god, that is a good drink! Ryan held up his glass and looked his pal in the eyes. You know something, Matt? Things have been pretty rad lately. Matt smiled at his friend. You can say that again. Winning the Nobel Peace Prize twice was legend. Wait for it. Dairy. And finally hitting 2 billion subscribers on YouTube was the cherry on top. That was awesome, but I still can't believe they renamed the Lincoln Memorial to the Matt and Ryan Memorial. Doesn't get much better than this. The two clinked glasses and downed the rest of their hot grown-up juice. After finishing their supper and slurping up a few more drinks, the euphoria surrounding the table had reached peak levels. Maybe it was just the warm spring of the night, but the air seemed to buzz alive with the energy of the room. Matt and Ryan didn't even mind that their conversation and laughter could be heard all the way from the poor people's section of the restaurant. All right, about ready to bounce, Matt asked. Let's go, Ryan replied, doing his best to baby voice. Before skipping on the check, Ryan took one last swig of his pizza and cracker soup and left an uplifting fortune from a fortune cookie on the table. Now that's a tip someone could actually use. By this point, the alcohol was working full force in Matthew and Ryan's bodies. With blood alcohol counts of 4.8 and 5.2 respectively, it was time to hit the road and get home to catch a rerun of their favorite movie, The Taking of Pelham 123, 2009 action/thriller film. The valet boy approached, keys in hand. However, upon noticing just how intoxicated Matt and Ryan were, he started to pull the keys away. Sorry, gentlemen, but it would be irresponsible for me to allow you to operate a motor vehicle in your current state. With a swift punch and a push to the ground, the keys were retrieved. The boys high-fived, and Ryan hawked one final loogie onto the valet's shoes. You missed a spot, Ryan snarked. You super mega boys are always a hoot. Get home safe now, you hear? The valet boy responded warmly. Ryan rolled down his window, shouting, These nuts! Before hitting the freeway. Cruising at a comfortable 135 miles per hour, the boys were having even more laughs as they sped through the intersections, narrowly missing pedestrians and making crank phone calls on their Bluetooth headsets, the little ones that uncles were wearing, like 2006. They knew that life couldn't be any better. How could it be when they were also blasting the unreleased Wu-Tang Clan album given to them by their good friend and financial guru, Martin Shkreli? The third track on the album had just wrapped, when out of nowhere a building found its way in the path of our two protagonists. Faster than you can say, oops, the automobile slammed into the concrete siding of the Western Federal Union. The impact was grim. The Lamborghini was crushed in an instant, its weak metal cheap components and poor Italian design no match for the speed of the crash. The tires popped like overfilled balloons at a child's pizza party, exploding with eardrum-shattering force. Metal wrapped around brick like Matt's ex-wife during their marriage, wrapping her legs around her boyfriend's face each night. The heavy engine was one thrust through the gaping hole where the hood once was, spewing boiling oil. A Louis Vuitton duffel bag in the trunk filled with $350,000 in gold doubloons earmarked for donation to the local children's hospital vanished from existence in a fiery inferno. Slabs of cinder block were blasted at speeds well beyond a bullet train, terminating the lives of every poor soul within the doomed Western Federal Credit Union. The sound of their screams was drowned by the horrific decibels of the explosion as it reached levels well beyond the roar of an F-16 fighter jet. Every employee, including the general manager, Andy, perished in the deadly spray of burning gasoline and concrete debris. In the days to follow, as firefighters worked to clear the smoldering remains of the building, the only surviving remnants of human life recovered would be a celebratory cake in the employee fridge. The message, "Congrats on the promotion, Andy," still preserved in white frosting. "Well, that's gonna hurt in the morning," Ryan said as the burning hellfire of carnage rolled to a stop. "Yeah, louder for the people in the back," Matt laughed. The two shimmied out of the burning, charred skeleton of the automobile, dusting themselves off. "Dang, got some drywall on my supermega thank you bag t-shirt," Ryan moaned, his voice anguished. "Oh, don't worry. The material of the shirt is high-quality linens, and you can easily wash stains out and retain full texture quality," Matt reassured his pal. "Anyways, want to call an Uber back?" With a chuckle, the two walked to the curb to wait for their ride home, blind to the nightmare that's about to unfold around them.